Hi there, my name is Polly Chester. Welcome back once again. This presentation will be exploring the Resident After Hours Care Planning Workbook. It is instructional video 3 out of 3 for residential aged care facility staff. So far together, we have explored the contents of the After Hours Support Planning Toolkit for residential aged care facilities and the Facility After Hours Care Planning Workbook. So this is the part of the education around these resources, which explores the resident after hours care planning workbook and how we might create an after hours support plan for each individual resident within your facility. So let's get straight to it. How to use the blank resident workbook. So you will see, first of all, that this one is differentiated from the other two by the colour of its cover. This one has a purple cover, which makes it easy to recognise. And if you would like to turn to page 4, we will go through together how to use this plan. So we use this plan in conjunction with the After Hours Planning Guide, that's the dark blue document, to list the key information for an individual resident's care after hours. Consider the physical places in the residential aged care facility where the plan will be most accessible for staff who need it during the after hours period. There are blank spaces to list current plans and to identify gaps and plans for improvement. Within the workbook, there is also a resident after hours quick guide, and facilities may like to use this to summarise information from the individual plan. The workbook has been designed to encourage completion of one plan and one quick guide per individual resident. Primary Health Tasmania encourages residential aged care facilities to regularly review and update these plans. So now I'd like you to turn to pages 6 and 7 if you could. And what we're going to do is once again go through an example of how we might use the workbook in relation to the requirement of clinical governance. So you'll see a series of self-assessment questions here, but they're slightly different ones to what we saw in the Facility After Hours Care Planning Workbook, because these questions are pertaining to the individual resident and their care preferences and plans. We recommend that you pull in residents and or their families, responsible persons, next of kin into this process, whoever is relevant, and ask them to join in this planning process with you. The after hours support period is one whereby emergencies can happen and families may have strong feelings about what they want to happen in that period of time. So this is their opportunity to have a say and for the resident to have their say, for all people sort of concerned with this person to have their say in what should happen during that time period. So when you ask those self-assessment questions like, what governments do we have on file that govern this resident's after hours care preferences and where can they be found? What is our process for escalating this resident's care in the after hours period and who is responsible for escalating that care and so forth? That's an opportunity to have a person-centred discussion about how you might deliver after hours support for this resident. So pull in whoever you think is relevant, of course not mandatory, but we encourage you to do that if you have capacity to do so. As you answer these questions, you might like to pop the answers down if they're clear in the what does this look like in practice box. So you can once again type that in to the editable PDF or feel free to handwrite it in if you prefer. If you find that some elements are missing or the answers to the questions are unclear, feel free to write that in the what's missing box. And when you think about how you can address those deficits within someone's plan, you may like to refer once again to that dark blue document, the After Hours Support Planning Toolkit document. And again, we would be looking to pages 12 and 13 within this document in the clinical governance section for suggested resources on how we might enhance this resident's plan. So we might look at things like medical goals of care plans, advanced care directive, particular documents that might underpin the resident's care during that after hours period. So feel free to refer back to the resources that we've listed there. They may or may not be useful, and also brainstorm with the resident concerned persons who may be participating in this process about how you might enhance that plan. So once you've gone through the main planning process and all the relevant self-assessment questions, we invite you to fill out the Resident After Hours Quick Guide. So we have provided an example of how one may fill this out in relation to a fake person called John Citizen, an oft referred to name when we're trying to create an example around a person. So in no way is this a real person, but we've just created a fake person there to provide an example of how you might fill this out for an individual resident and what kinds of things that you might consider. We have a blank version of the after hours quick guide there for you to fill out. Again, editable PDF, so you can type the answers in or write them in, totally up to you. Transfer key pieces of information from the residence plan that you've been through together into that quick guide document. And we suggest placing that quick guide in the residence file or health records, somewhere private where it can be kept confidential, but where it is accessible for all concerned care staff, so they can access it during the after hours period if that resident requires care. The back cover is editable with this document, just like the other ones. So down in the bottom right-hand corner, you can click on that little blank piece where there's that small image next to the Primary Health Tasmania logo, and you can enter your own logo in if you would like to customise this document for your RACF. If you would like to contact us about accessing further assistance with completing this process, please email us at agedcare@primaryhealthtas.com.au. We will be putting together a working frequently asked questions document on our website, so please make sure that you email us with any questions at all. Other RACFs will probably have similar ones, so don't be embarrassed, don't be shy. Please speak up if you have questions. We'll be more than happy to answer them. And if you need further consultation to explain the resources, we can book in a virtual chat on Teams or even organise to come and see you if you need it. So please sing out if you need us. You can stay informed about what we're up to by visiting our website. You can visit our Facebook page. You can contact us on Twitter too, and the handle is TasPHN. Thank you once again for bearing with me during these instructional videos. I do hope they've been useful. Please refer back to them as much as you need to. All the best with your after-hours support planning processes for your facility and for residents. And once again, please don't hesitate to contact us about this if you need to. Thank you very much.